Travel with Dave dating advice. After being stood up, like 99% of the women don't show up for a date, probably like 60 times. I have a new policy now. I don't put up with their nonsense anymore. If they sound like they're saying something dumb, I say stop with the nonsense. I outright tell them they lie all the time. Like there was a woman who said, I don't have data because she didn't want to chat with me on Facebook. And I was like, well, how are you using the data, the dating site if you don't have data? Caught her in so many lies, one after another. So my new rules, number one, I just want to do the video chat first. If they complain, say, well, when you're ready to do the video chat, let me know. You got to do the video chat. Otherwise, you're going to go for a date. You're going to travel half an hour. You're going to get ready and dress nice and pay for the taxi, and then she doesn't show up. So I don't want to put up with this. Like I said, 60 times this has happened to me. I'd had it happen like 5 times in 1 week. And I send the messages. I waited for you. I was there at that time. I sat for half an hour. Half of them will say, I had an emergency meeting. And the other half will say, I was there. Like nobody was there. I was the only one there. You weren't there. They make up excuses. They'll go there and they'll go to the store next door and they'll say, where are you? And it's like, I'm where I told you I would be, because they want you to go to where they are. They're afraid to walk up to you. You have to walk up to them. Even if they're like 50 years old, they'll do this. So my new policy, they got to do the video chat. And I'll send them audio messages. Hello, how are you? If they don't respond with an audio message, they're going to be a little difficult. Some of them will. But last of all, I tell them my real name. And if they're difficult, I say, you want to meet me. You haven't shown up. You've been giving me a hard time. I don't think your profile on Facebook is real. I want to know your real name. Give me your real name. If they don't give it to you, just pass on them. They're not afraid to meet men. That's a lie. They'll say, I'm afraid. I'm scared. Yeah, but you know what the cure is? Giving them money. It's just a method they use to extort men for money. They pretend that they're afraid. They're not afraid. A lot of these women, uh, they want to come over to your apartment at midnight. They're not afraid. They use it as an excuse to get money. Um, and you have to be careful. Don't ever let someone come over to your apartment. They will come in and then they'll say, excuse me for a moment. They'll go in the bathroom. They send a message to their boyfriend. They say what apartment you're in. And then they come and they rob you. That's what they do. So never let them into your apartment unless you don't mind if you get drugged and robbed. And always say, if you're going to let them come in, always say, oh yeah, just check in with the security guard. I'll tell the security guard that you're coming to meet me, and I'll introduce you to the security guard so that he knows that you're there to see me. You have to push the security guard. Or you say, oh, by the way, make sure you bring your ID because the security guard will ask to see it. And then you'll never hear from them again. If they say they need you to pay for the taxi, you say, I will send the taxi to your house. Give me your name and your phone number and your address so that the taxi can find you, and then you'll never hear from them again. That's one of the tricks I learned. They're never serious. And don't assume that they're even women contacting you. There's going to be a lot of men, a lot of prostitution rings where the guy is going to contact you and he'll send some random woman. So watch out for those. Watch out for those tips. Okay, so I have to apologize. I forgot what the start of this video was about. But be wary with the dating in the Philippines. Dating in person is just as difficult. I have found if you smile at them, they will smile back. And if you initiate, they will, they'll go like this. If you start talking to them, they'll listen intently. But if you say something like, if you try to get to know them, it's not going to happen because they're brain dead. And because they've been raised that you sit down and shut up. That's the type of place that they were raised. It's not like the United States where if the child misbehaves, the parents just let them misbehave. Over here, it's different. Over here, if someone misbehaves, there's no misbehavior. They don't tolerate anything outside of the group think. They don't think what's true. They believe something because everyone else believes it. It's a fit in culture, which means you don't say your opinion, you don't criticize, you don't say anything good. They people that don't talk. You ask them, I say, hey, let's go out on a date. They'll say, okay, meet me here in 5 minutes. They say, okay, and then they go home. They say yes, but they're not serious. They say yes to be polite because they can't handle the conversation. They have serious problems with socializing, with talking to people, with being truthful. They will just outright lie and say, "Yes, I like you. Yes, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Yes, we can sit down and talk for 5 minutes." They won't. They'll just immediately leave. Very socially inept. They have trouble standing next to you in line. If they're in line and they turn around and see you standing behind, this is what you'll see. And then they'll leave a line just because they don't want to stand in front of you. It had to happen so many times. They have hatred for foreigners, severe hatred. Over here in Colombia, it wasn't like that, but over here it's severe. In the small towns, it was a little bit better. I didn't get that type of treatment so much, but they were still difficult. It's going to be difficult. And the guys that say, "Oh yeah, it's so easy," they're all giving the girls money. That's not. You're not dating for love if you're giving someone money, and those men are not looking for a wife. All the guys who say it's easy to have more than one girl, they're giving them money, and always say, "Oh, it's easy. Are you going to marry this girl?" And they're all going to say no. You're looking for someone who's marriage material, and the other guys aren't. That's why it's easy. And I walk with the guys who are asking all the women out. The women always ignore them. They don't say no. They just ignore them and keep on walking. And I've seen guys get shot down again and again and again and again and again. Okay, so that is it. There was a video where the ugly Chinese guy asked out 80 women. And the 81st woman, she says, sure, why not? And she was so beautiful. I was like, I would have totally dated that woman, how beautiful she was. She was an Asian woman, young Asian woman. Okay, that's it for this video. I don't like to say bad things about anybody, but this is just crazy. I've been here 7 years, 7.5 years, and you can't get a date, and they're all insane. It's crazy difficult. I will tell you that the women in Cavite seem to be the normal women. That's one piece, the most normal. The best piece of advice, if you haven't come to the Philippines, go to Cavite. I know nothing about how much it costs to live there. It's near Manila. They smile in the profiles and the conversation is better. Okay, that's it for this video. Have a good day.